This is one of the strangest things I've seen in a while. This ship literally washed up on the beach, and it looks like it came from a different time period. How did this happen? Is there a secret entrance somewhere? Let's find out. Welcome back, everyone. Here is our first mystery. We see this huge vessel on the beach that doesn't belong there. The waves crashed against the hull, and the wind was whipping through the rigging, making for some pretty dramatic footage. It almost looks like something straight out of a movie. But how did it get there? That is what we'll try to solve today. But before we do that, now back to our story. As we get closer, we can see just how massive this thing really is. The bowsprit extends out over the beach, almost like a welcoming gesture. But what is this place and how did it end up here? There's no pier or dock anywhere nearby, so it must have gotten here under its own power. And if it did that, where are the crew members? Where are the passengers? Why is it abandoned? All these questions ran through my mind as I made my way to the ship. As I got closer, I could see that the wood was old and weathered, but it still looked strong. I walked around the entire ship, but couldn't find any markings or clues as to what it was or where it came from. The main deck was covered in a thick layer of sand, making it difficult to navigate. But as I continued to search, I began to find some interesting things. First, I found a lifeboat, which told me that this ship was once used for transportation. But that didn't make sense. If it was used for transportation, then why was it abandoned here? I continued to explore and soon found some more clues. I discovered a rusty anchor and some old tattered sails. It was clear that this ship had seen better days, but it was still a majestic sight to behold. Then I saw it, a small wooden door hidden behind one of the masts. Could this be the answer to the mystery? Was there someone on board? I approached cautiously, not knowing what I might find on the other side. As I reached for the door, my heart began to race. What would I find? Would there be someone waiting for me? With shaking hands, I opened the door and stepped inside. The interior was dark and dusty, lit only by a sliver of sunlight that peeked through a crack in the ceiling. In the corner, I saw something that made me gasp. It was a journal, its pages filled with faded ink. As I turned through the brittle pages, I discovered the ship's log. The entries told the tale of a voyage from the 1800s, a time when sailing ships were still the main form of transportation across the seas. The log spoke of a crew of 12 men who set sail from London on a mission to deliver a mysterious cargo to New York. But as the weeks passed, the entries became more frantic, speaking of storms and dwindling supplies. The final entry was dated March 1849 and read, "We are lost. The ship is in peril. God help us." Then there was nothing, just blank pages staring back at me. What happened to the crew? Did they abandon ship? Did the vessel get caught in the storm and washed ashore? The questions echoed through the empty halls of the ship, unanswered. Suddenly, the sound of footsteps made me jump. Had I been discovered? I quickly hid in the shadows, my heart pounding in my chest. Then I heard a voice. "Did you find anything interesting in there, Jake?" I froze. Someone knew I was there. "No, nothing at all," I replied, my voice barely a whisper. "Good," said the man. "Let's get out of here before someone else finds us." And that is exactly what we did. As we made our way back to shore, I couldn't help but feel a sense of sadness for the crew of the ship. What had happened to them? Were they lost at sea, or had they simply given up on their journey? I may never know the answers to those questions, but I will never forget the eerie silence of the old ship, or the feeling of dread that washed over me when I realized I was in alone. Thank you for watching. Remember to leave a like and subscribe for more updates. See you next time.